We have a burning landfill in our district that has been burning since before I was elected, and now is 40 acres of trash that is burning about 30 feet down in the Chiquita Canyon landfill. It has been releasing toxic fumes that are making our community sick. There's a possible cancer cluster that has developed next to the landfill. And because of that, the landfill had created a relief fund because neighbors of this landfill have had to keep their windows and doors closed. They've had to run their AC or heat 24/7. For people who have swamp coolers, they just haven't been able to have any air. And because of their increased cost, some people have had to replace swamp coolers. They've had to, pay really high electric and utility bills because of the cost of this, and obviously going to the doctor, medical, so many increased costs that people in our community have been experiencing because of this disaster. So those funds have really been critical to support people in our community. But the concern has been that if you take those funds, then do you no longer qualify for CalFresh or Medi-Cal? Does it count against you because of that? Are you paying taxes now on this when that money comes in and it goes right out to pay for the costs that are associated with living with this disaster? So we are requesting in AB 27 that this not be counted as gross income. It would not be counted against people being able to both qualify for state assistance programs, and also that it would not be taxed. So I have a couple witnesses here today from our community who we flew up to be able to testify, Stephen House and Kevin Smalley, and you can choose who goes first and second.
Thank you very much. I just want to remind the witness you have 2 minutes each, so whoever wants to go first, please proceed.
You take the microphone if you're gonna.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. My name is Stephen House. I lived in Val Verde since 1998 with my wife and 4 kids. We fell in love with the quiet area, the rich history, and the close community. Moving there, we were told the landfill was closing and it was not an issue. Later, we found out that that was not the case. 2 expansions later, in 2023, the landfill had a blowout in the side of the landfill, releasing leachate and poisonous gases like methane and benzene, causing numerous health issues in our community, ranging from trouble breathing, bloody noses, headaches, instant nausea, brain fog. Over 10 of my very close neighbors developed various types of cancer, including my next door neighbor. In February of 2024, my wife was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. In July, my 19-year-old daughter was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease exacerbated by landfill toxins and gas, where she has to take allergy medications daily, always carry an EpiPen and an inhaler in case the toxins cause an episode. As a healthy person myself, who rarely ever gets sick, I started to suffer from constant sinus infections and now use a daily nasal spray, allergy medication, and carry an inhaler. The Chiquita Canyon landfill set up a community relief fund for nearby residents to use for relocation, home hardening, increased electrical bills, etc. I'm located about 1,600 feet from the landfill, and I qualified for those funds. Not really knowing how long the funds would last, I began to use the monthly funds to harden my house. We could no longer use my evaporative cooler or open the windows at night to cool down the house, so I had to replace our very inefficient central AC system and ducting with a whole new closed system and a HEPA filtration. Next, I started replacing my windows as the odors and toxins would actually come through the older windows that I had at my house. Sealing up my doors. I also purchased high-end medical-grade air purifiers in my house to help with the odors and the toxins. Now I'm running AC and multiple air purifiers 24/7, and that greatly increased my electricity bills despite the fact that I bought solar for my house. Homeschooling our 13-year-old son, a lot of times we had to leave the area due to the toxins, using the funds for memberships or food, as we'd have to leave because it would be so bad at our house. We also used the funds to take our RV trailer out of the area or visit family when we just couldn't take it any longer and we needed to rest and recoup. So I'm asking you to take action to make these relief funds non-taxable, as it's possible these funds will put me in a higher tax bracket and cause me to owe taxes as a result of these funds when, in fact, I did use them for the intended purpose. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Next witness, 2 minutes, please.
Hello, my name is Kevin Smalley, and I bought my home in Val Verde in 1987. I was informed while in escrow by my agent the landfill will shut down in 1997. Instead, the landfill was given a 20-year extension and another 30-year extension in 2017. Here we are, years later, and the landfill has finally closed only after it caused a public health emergency to 20,000 people. The landfill has been taking in waste from all areas and improperly disposing of it. They have accepted PCBs waste from the high school in Malibu that was making the students and teachers sick, nuclear waste from Rocketdyne, and remains of a hazardous waste incident that happened in Santa Paula. The fire is burning all those toxic articles, releasing fumes into the air for us to breathe and contaminating our water. My home is less than 2 miles away from the Chiquita landfill. I smell fumes every day, constantly breathing it in, affecting my health condition, giving me postnasal drip, trouble with sleeping, resulting in chronic fatigue that affects my day-to-day activities. I regularly ride my bike around the neighborhood, which is difficult to enjoy because of the odor. We are paying for a disaster that we didn't create. To help alleviate our pain, the Chiquita Canyon landfill provided us residents with air purifiers and set up a relief fund. I was able to receive some funds to purchase better filters and pay my utilities, and it helped, but the issue is still there and still continue to be. On top of that, public benefits lapsed. I didn't reapply because I was afraid the relief dollars I received would mean I would no longer qualify, but that support I really do need. The community and I are tired of living in these conditions. We are afraid of what other long-term effects are to come up on top of the current conditions that has already influenced our lifestyle. Please see the effects this disaster has brought and help my neighbors, and I ask that you support AB 27 today and bring some relief and hope to victims of our tragedy.
Thank you very much. At this time, any additional people in the room wishing to speak in support, please line up on my left. This is support, name, organization, and your position.
Thank you. I'm Will Brieger from Climate Action California, and I have been asked to speak for several other groups. I'll just read those. The Glendale Environmental Coalition, 350 Sacramento, 350 Humboldt, the Elders Climate Action Northern California, the Climate Reality Project for San Fernando Valley. They have a chapter in Silicon Valley also in support, and in Los Angeles. Last but not least, the Santa Cruz Climate Action Network. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Erica Parker with Californians Against Waste and Strong Support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Thomas Alvarez. I'm a resident of Assembly District 40, and I support this bill.
Thank you very much. Next, primary witness in opposition. Would you please make yourself known by coming to the table and speaking? Hearing and seeing none, we'll bring it back to the committee for any questions. Ms. McKenna?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have one question. We admitted one word, landfill, on your payments where it says, this payment, however, omit the word landfill, which stipulates what types of payments may be excluded from gross income, while including the landfill will define a qualifying payment. So if you could would you consider putting landfill in where you put Chiquita Canyon elevated temperature landfill event payment, so that you could specify what it is?
Yes.
Ms. Schiavo, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, we'll look at that. I want to make sure I understand the concern. We were trying to keep it also a little bit broad because there may be other relief funds. The county in the past has done programs that have benefited the community. We don't. The landfill has actually, adding insult to injury, just ended the relief fund, so they're no longer providing funds. So there may be other funds that are needed from other entities, and we want to make sure that those are also excluded. So I just want to make sure in any changes to the language that we protect that opportunity.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions? I have one. Have you begun to have any discussions with the governor's office regarding a potential proclaiming the area as a state of emergency?
Oh, have we? There's been a lot of discussions and multiple letters and sign-ons by colleagues of these letters and discussions. And what we have heard is that they're doing everything that they would as if it were an emergency, and so nothing would change if an emergency were declared. We feel differently. We have just seen the response to the fires in LA and what kind of rapid response and relief and support that has brought. Not to discount the incredible multi-agency response that has happened, both state, federal, and local, to the landfill. But the problem is the fire is growing. It's possibly going into other cells. It's getting hotter. It's not getting better. Despite all of the work that has happened, it's an emergency and it's making people sick. And, folks don't have really enough relief to be able to keep themselves safe and healthy. So we continue to believe that a state of emergency is in order. Here, it's the worst environmental health disaster in the Western United States. I was saying that before the LA fires happened. So aside from the LA fires, and it continues to be the only fire burning in LA.
Sure. Thank you very much for that response. You may close.
I appreciate your consideration today. We know that folks in our communities are already struggling so much with an affordability crisis. And so on top of that, people in our community are also struggling with the health impacts of this terrible disaster. They should not financially be then further burdened and hurt because of the impacts of this burning landfill. And we don't believe that there will be, there's really a fiscal impact because this is not new income. It's a short period of time. It was all spent for the purpose that it was given to folks, and it's not as if someone got a promotion and has higher income all of a sudden. Nobody got to decide how much they got or for what, and we are hoping that the state of California will come to our community's aid in a time when they really need it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This bill is a suspense candidate. Thank you very much. And we appreciate your witnesses for showing up.